Wow! What's happening, everybody? This your boy. We back, baby. We back. Season 4, episode 2. We back. This your boy, Stanley Doucette. We rolling live with Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I am absolutely excited about the podcast today. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How y'all doing, family? What's going on? How your mom and your cousin and them doing? How is everybody? Listen, today is a wonderful day. I don't know when you're going to be listening to the podcast, so I can't give you a date and a time because you may be listening to it on recording, or you may be live with us on today with One Voice Worldwide, One Voice Radio. So I'm excited about it and what we're doing and how we're going to be doing it. Guys, listen. 2024. 2024. Listen, I keep saying listen because it's mind-boggling that first of all, we're in 2024. I want you guys to just be, you know what? Let me go to commercial because there is a lot I just want to say about 2024. And yeah, just already, just already. We only a few days in and it's already a doozy. So listen, wherever you are, if you guys would do me a big favor and go to let's talk with stanleydoucette.com. Let's talk with stanleydoucette.com. Join, like, subscribe, share. Go to all of the social medias, Instagram, Facebook. What does he call it now? X? I don't know what I don't even know about that. But X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course, go to the YouTube channel, baby. Y'all see some of my faces and some of the things I look at, and some of those just like, just thoughts. Just go there, go to the YouTube channel and like, subscribe, share. Call your cousin, call your aunt, call your uncle, call your mom, your daddy, call everybody, call the block. Let them know, listen, stop everything what you're doing, and y'all have to go to onevoiceradio.com right now. Y'all believe this? A little guy, I don't want to call myself little because, I'm big swole. I'm just kidding. I Listen, guys, I am, from a small city, small town, and to be on the radio in 170 plus countries on multiple platforms is just an honor. And I'm very, very excited to every time I get a chance to do this and just converse, I'm just excited. So whether you're in Belgium or whether you're in south of France, whether you're in Canada or whether you're in South America, it doesn't matter where you are. I just want to send greetings and send greetings and send greetings and say hello to each of you. I am absolutely humbled that you guys actually take the time out of your day, your night, your morning, your evening to listen to what we're sharing on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. It is absolutely an honor to be here with you guys each and every Monday when we record live. And then each and every time you guys go back and listen to it and review it and go to YouTube and listen to it again and listen to it again, I humbly say thank you. I humbly say thank you. Yep, I'm rubbing my hands together. What does that mean? I have an incredible topic today. And we're just going to be talking about faith, those difficult times. And, I know everybody always say, have faith and keep the faith, and your faith. And faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And, we start getting these quotes and these beautiful quotes. For all I trust him. I can go on and on and on with all of these wonderful, wonderful quotes. But I want to get into some deeper discussion about faith today and how to actually maintain it when we are literally going through some difficult times. Now, everybody may say it's difficult times, and there's different people that say different difficult times for different reasons, whatever they may be. I don't really know, but everybody have a certain level of difficult time. Whatever your difficult time, today I want you to supersede that and go into something that you would consider horrific. I mean, hard time, right? And lean there just for a second. We're not going to stay there, but I want us to lean there for a second because I want to share some points. A lot of times when we go through something, we just, you hear people just, oh, have faith, or oh, trust him, and oh, believe in him, and that's good. Believe in your creator, believe in your God, believe in whoever it may be. For me, believe in Jesus. He's gonna, do what he does. And that's great for everybody. But I don't want to be superficial today. Now, I want to talk to those people that are going through some horrible times right now. It's 2024. We only a few days in. And in 2024, some of us, it seems like we don't know whether to run back to 2023 or run forward in 2024. It has been that challenging on so many fronts. A few days ago, a friend of mine texted me, and I'm not going to give too much details, but they had an unfortunate a death in their family. They were just with the person maybe 7 hours ago and got a call and literally said they were unfortunately had went on to glory. That's difficult, especially when you're close to someone. And a lot of times people say you never had a chance to say goodbye, you never had a chance to do any of those things. And when it just happens so suddenly, and death is final. It ain't no coming back. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. It is final. So what I want to share and talk to everybody today with is just about faith, right? But I want to talk about some real faith. I read this quote and it says, faith is a decision to love. Now, who to love? Now, it may be God, it may be Jehovah, it may be, I don't know, yourself. I don't quite know who you may love. It may be the universe, it may all of whatever people may choose to live on or believe in or have faith in. That's up to you. It may be Muhammad, it may be Minister Farrakhan. I'm not sure, right? So I don't get into who, and I'm not trying to tell you who. I'm gonna just talk about my side today and who I am and all of those things. So it says faith is a decision to love, no matter the circumstances. And the more you choose love, the greater your faith will grow. Let me say that again. Faith is a decision to love, no matter the circumstances. And the more you choose love, the greater your faith will grow. I thought that was powerful because I always thought about faith as just almost on the trust side, trust, belief, right? That's what I thought it was. But when I read that quote, I was like, oh, that's deep. A decision to love. I don't want to get into the love side because that'll be 4 or 5 shows, right? I'm not getting into love, but I want to get into the space where we talk about faith. There's a song that I sent to someone. I ain't gonna tell you who I sent it to. Y'all nosy. Y'all nosy. But there's a song I sent to somebody, and it was talking about your faith is being tested. Listen, if you're not driving, if you're not doing something that can hurt someone else, if you're walking and you raise your hand, if you're sitting down and you can raise your hand, if you got your feet up on the sofa drinking some tea or some coffee and you can raise your hand, have your faith been tested already in 2024? Raise your hand. Y'all can't see me, but I got 2 hands up, right? I mean, it has been a lot, but have your faith been tested? What I want to do today is share just a few things about how we can continue to move forward and keep our faith. These are some powerful tools. I hope you have the opportunity to take some notes. If some stories pop into my mind, I'm gonna even tell some stories. But I want you to take some notes. Now, if you're driving, if you're doing something that you cannot take notes that may hurt someone else, please go back and just go back, get to this part of the message, or just get to this part of the podcast and start from here and then start taking your notes there. If you're driving your van or your truck or your car, Are you flying an airplane? Or you driving a boat? All of those things. Listen, you keep doing what you're doing. What I want to do is just right here is share with those individuals that can actually take some notes. All right. So, number one, when you're talking about keeping your faith, even in these tremendous, horrible times, what's one of the things you can do? So, number one, I'm gonna start with, and everybody know this one. Everybody say it is pray and meditate. That's number one. Pray and meditate. So, prayer is just talking to your creator. That's the easiest way of saying it. Prayer is just talking to your creator. Now, some people have elaborate prayers. Some people have very simplistic prayers, or I should not say simplistic prayers. I should say some simplistic vocabulary when they communicate with their creator. Some people have elaborate communication with their creator. Wherever you fall in, that's up to you. I'm not trying to tell you how to pray. Oh, but what I'm sharing is go to your creator and pray. For me, when I go to God in prayer, sometimes it's a little bit longer or a little bit more lengthy. Some of it is a little bit more elaborate. And then some of it is just like, Lord, help me. Right? Just Jesus, help me, please. Like that's depends on where you. So that's your prayer. So I always say start out with your prayer and then also meditate. Meditate on your scriptures. For me, grab the Bible, and it may be something on my mind or on my heart, and I may look that up and study whatever that may be. If it's faith, I may look up faith, and I dig up the faith, and I dig all through all of the scriptures about faith, and I read and I study and I meditate on it and I think about it. What I share with you when you're going through a difficult times, and it is every morning. If nothing else, a few minutes in the morning, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depend on your schedule. Just carve out some time to meditate on what you have just studied or what you have just read, right? You have prayed, and then give the Father, give God, give your creator an opportunity to respond back to you. So when you're meditating on that word, but it also gives God an opportunity to communicate with you. Now, if we honest, let's keep it a buck today, right? Sometimes you may not want to hear what he has to say. Yeah. Sometimes he may say, Stanley, you wrong. Now go back and apologize to person A. And you may be convicted of just saying, I mean, not convicted, convinced you are absolutely correct. But once the Father have spoken to you, once God has said, you know what, you're wrong, you have no more argument. Regardless of what you say, you have no more argument. Go back and apologize. Go back and apologize to that person. Now, when you go back and apologize to that person, don't go back and say, well, I'm sorry. But if no, that ain't no apology. Go back sincere. Hey, you know what? Dr. Orm, I'm sorry. I should have literally put the pencil on the left side of the. I know y'all gonna laugh at me. Anyway, and put the pencil on the left side of the notebook instead of the right side of the notebook, right? Mr. Landrum, I'm sorry. I know I said I was gonna grab that piece of paper, but I didn't. I'm sorry. It's not that difficult to do that. By the way, that's my partners in business. So that's my brother. So I'm always in trouble. I'm always something. I'm always is the shout out to Carol. Shout out to Carol Orm. Carol, I'm gonna just say this publicly on the air. As you would always say, Stanley, you know it's gonna be your fault some kind of way. Don't worry, y'all. That's a joke between me and my sister. That's a joke between us. So don't even try to figure it out. But when you go back and you apologize, make sure you apologize sincere, right? So remember, we're talking about faith. In your faith, when you're going and having difficult times, one of the first things I always do, and I wanted to share this with you guys, is pray and meditate. First thing in the morning, and the last thing when I go to sleep is pray and meditate. You may need a prayer, or may not need, but you may want a prayer partner, or you may want to do it yourself. When you meditate, do it yourself, right? If you're a husband and wife and you're meditating, find that space where it can just be you and God, and that you guys can actually have that meditation with you and God. No one else, no distractions, no kids, no whining, no babysitters, none of that. Just you and God, and y'all have an opportunity to, you meditate and give that love report to God, excuse me, love report, love and respect to God, and allow Him to download things into you as you're there. One thing I want to share, I don't know why this just popped into my head, but as you are listening, right? Don't stop listening just when you're meditating. Don't do that. Literally, when you're meditating, that's one piece. But you may get up, jump in the shower, getting ready for work, getting ready for your business meetings, getting ready to hop on a Zoom or a conference call. And when you do it, right, they'll listen. Now, there are some times where God will just speak to you and what we would consider the most inopportune time. No, God, whenever God speaks, that's the perfect time. Period. End of discussion. There's nothing else to say about that. So always listening with your birth canal, and your birth canal is your ears, right? Hear it, understand it, digest it, receive it. Don't try to add on, don't try to take away. Just allow what your creator have downloaded to you. Let it come in. See, listen to what he has shared with you, and then execute whatever that may be. Okay. So that's the first thing for me, and I wanted to share that with you. Pray and meditate. All right. Number two, now, some people say yay, some people say no, but I want to share with you mine, right? And I hope this becomes a blessing for you. So when you're talking about keeping your faith in difficult times, number two, I say release. Here's what I mean by release. Let it out, talk about it, share. This is important though. This is very, very important. When you talk about release, let it go, right? All of those things, and you're venting or getting it off your chest or whatever it is that you may say. When you're doing that, make sure the individual that you're sharing it with can actually, number one, be able to have the capacity, as Dr. Orm would say, have the capacity to receive what it is you're saying. Number two, make sure that they're going to give you great advice, or just sit and listen. Because when you have someone you're sharing with, you have to make sure that they are also at your same level, at your same dimension, at your same realm, that you're communicating with, that they're not somebody that don't understand what you're saying, because then you get frustrated again. So when you're releasing, when you're sharing, when you're getting it out of your system, and you just like, oh, I got to get this out because I'm so frustrated, but I have to have faith. But you're trying to get that frustration out. Make sure you share with somebody that can help you walk through that frustration, to continue on with your faith, to continue on loving. Remember, faith is a decision to love. So you may be frustrated about something. And most times we are frustrated about, oh, this is good. Most times we are frustrated about something is us trying to control the narrative or the outcome of what the creator may have still not have spoken yet. So when you have literally let it out, now again, come back, bring it down, converse with that person that you feel have the capacity, the ability to speak life into you, and to continue to speak and hold your faith up. Once you finish speaking, then you've released it. Now allow that person to share with you. And listen, it may not be somebody that you can share with. Release it to God. Share with him, right? So when we're doing that, remember, when you're releasing with that person that can actually help you walk through that frustration, to continue on with your faith. Because one thing that I hate, and I know hate is a strong word, but I really hate this, is for people to share or to talk to somebody and say, oh, just have faith, and think sometimes it's just that simple. A lot of people, when they're walking, they're going through some of the most difficult times of their life. And I think it's just so insensitive for somebody to say, oh, just have faith and walk away. like, okay, everything is great with you. I'm sorry, I haven't grown to that spot yet. So I'm letting this out. I'm releasing, I'm letting it go so I can eventually grow to that spot. How do you know God is not helping me grow with some challenges so the next time I come around, I know how to handle it in a better manner? So don't do that. Please don't just look at somebody and say, oh, have faith, and then walk away like, oh, it's just that simple. It's not always that simple for everybody. It's not. So please be very mindful, be very careful when somebody's sharing or releasing, that you make sure you hold them, you hug them, whether it's virtually, whether it's in your mind, whatever it is, you holding them down to make sure you know that you're in a safe space. You can release this, and it may not even be time that day to converse about it. You may just have to let that person let it out to get it out, and then come back at a later, a couple moments later, maybe a couple of minutes later, a few minutes, maybe an hour later, to allow that person to let that out. Because remember, the biggest thing is we want to allow each individual, we want to allow the family to keep the faith. So keeping the faith, sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes hell came to your doorstep and people come be like, oh, just have faith, it's good. No, say, hey, listen, I'm not perfect. I wish I was, but I'm not. So allow that person some grace when they're releasing to you, and allowing that stuff to go forward and make some things happen. All right. So that is important to what we're doing and how we're actually doing it. I'm very proud of the individuals that you choose in your circle, because you're the one that know that this person can handle that weight, or that person can't handle that weight. So you know what to share and what not to share, or how to share it. But remember, number one is pray and meditate, because we're talking about keeping your faith in difficult times, right? So number one is pray and meditate. Pray and meditate. Number two is letting it go, releasing it. I mean, releasing it. Now, I hear some people saying, well, what's the difference? If you pray, you meditate, you letting it go, you talk. Listen, I'm breaking it out how I want to break it out. You break it out how you want to break it out. But the key is, when we're doing that, you pray and meditate to God. Then you release it. You may be releasing it to your friend. You may be releasing to your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You may be releasing whoever it may be, a mentor, but just allow that space to let it go. All right. So that's number two. Number three, be generous to others. Be generous to others. Be generous to others. I found that when I get into a space sometime, it seems like that's when I start blessing others more, right? Not because of me, but I start doing it because it literally shifts my focus on being gracious or being a blessing, or sharing that love with someone else. And that way you're still fleshing out that negativity or the frustration that you're feeling, because we're keeping the faith. So remember, faith is love. Faith is a decision to love. So I love people. And when you may mentor somebody at that time. You may bless somebody in the grocery store. You may pay for their groceries. You may see somebody and you give them a compliment. You may walk down the street and see somebody tying their shoe, and you can hold their bag for them. So it's a multitude of ways we can do that. But you want to be gracious. You want to be generous to others. Another thing that to do when you talk about being generous to others, you may pick up the phone and call someone that you had not spoken to in a long time, and just pick up the phone and call and converse with them. When you call and converse with them, then it's like, hey, how are you? And then just begin speaking some wonderful things with them and sharing and just helping and walking through that light all the way around. Because what happens is, now you're being gracious to someone else, you're being generous to someone else. All of a sudden, your mind has moved away from that frustration of whatever the horrific things is that came to you, and now you're moved into another space and you sharing love with that person. So now you're allowing your faith to get stronger, you're allowing your faith to keep growing. But that's one of those things, it's, for me, it's very very critical, because I love people. And I know I can't keep the energy of the negativity. I know I could keep my faith. I know my God has me. I know God is going to bless me. I know he's going to pour into me. But sometimes things come and it's a test, right? So sometimes you looking at that test, you trying to figure it out. But when you become gracious to someone else and you begin to help them walk higher and higher and higher, what happens is overnight, over a few minutes, I began to feel better. I began to feel better. And I continue to have my faith in that. And I continue to help them, even maybe even be able to lift their faith. What happens when you call someone that you may not have spoken to in a while and they're going through something? Ooh, wee. And you scream like you want to scream to the top of your lungs, but when you get on the phone and he or she is start going in, and then now you wind up being the individual that they're releasing to, right? So now the creator has entrusted you to allow them to for you to help them keep their faith, even though you know you're going through it right now. But now he trusts you enough to allow that person to begin to share with you. The decision is, are you going to just complain, fuss, get frustrated, mad, and or you're going to elevate that person. You're going to share with that person. You're going to make sure that person have a safe space for them to release, and then watch how powerful God lifts everybody at the same time. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So number 3 is be generous to others. Number 4, get inspired, right? Here's what I mean when I say get inspired. What are you reading? Let's keep it all the way 100. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What is going into your mind every single moment of every single day? Are you looking at I heard somebody say the idiot tube, meaning television. Are you looking at television all the time? Are you looking at social media all the time? A friend of mine that works at the post office, she says, Stanley, I started playing games on my phone just so I don't get on social media all that time. Because when you're winding down and you get on social media, and then, I think my mentor would always say it's all fake. It is 100% fake. Everybody is trying to be perfect. They're putting on filters, they're putting on screens, they only posting the great things and all of it. Stop. It's fake, right? A lot of times be like, oh, it's something, it's entertaining, it's something to watch. Okay, that's you. I'm not gonna stay on that. But my thing is, why don't you grab something that's empowering? Why don't we grab something that will keep our faith? Why don't you read some books on faith? Why don't you read some books on empowerment? Why don't we read some things that will elevate us out of that space that we may be in so we can keep our faith and keep walking and keep doing the things that we need to do? How about put that business plan together? How about call that person that you've been saying you was going to call for the longest? How about picking up the phone, or shooting an email to somebody and just saying and telling them thank you? Just how what about that? Right? So when you talk about get inspired, talk to your mentor, talk to your wife, talk to your husband, talk to your girlfriend, talk to your boyfriend. Doesn't matter who, but to get inspired. Here is something though. I got to say this. Here is something that I want you guys to think about. When we're talking to someone and we're talking about getting inspired, right? Again, make sure that person can speak life into you and not someone that drains you. A lot of times we do things and people will start talking and it drains you. You ever been around someone where as soon as you get around, you just feel like, oh my God, they started talking and they just sucking the oxygen out the room? Walk away from them, because at this time you need to be inspired. We need to get inspired. So as we get inspired, what are we reading? What are we listening to? A lot of times when you start reading, it takes your mind away. You get entrenched or really deep into that book, or you get really deep into the verbal book. No, what do you call it? It's not a verbal book, audio book. You get really deep into an audio book, and then we go from there, right? So when you get to those things, that's when it becomes magical. That's when things start to happen. It began to shift. It began to push you into another direction that you're moving away from negativity, but you're moving into something that can help you stay inspired. It can help you stay within your faith so you don't do something crazy, right? Because sometimes, look, baby, or as my boy would say, baby, let me tell you something. Listen, it is real, right? So just be inspired, get inspired. What is the name of the it was a book I was thinking about, but I can't think of it. Let me say one that I know. The Mindset of a Champion. That's a great book to read, right? Get inspired and start talking about success. Start talking about empowerment. That's a great book to read. Some people read other books. I'm reading right now The Purpose Driven Life again for like the 66 millionth time, right? But reading The Purpose Driven Life. So there are other books you can read that's right there. Just read them. I'm thinking about writing a book myself. So you can get inspired by what you're reading. You can get inspired by what you're listening to. You can go to YouTube. There are some great, powerful, inspirational messages, empowerment messages. There's some great spiritual messages that's there. So there's a lot that you can do. Sometimes you may be like, oh, I can't read at this moment, but I can put my iPods in. What is that? AirPods. What the thing's called? Put in the ear. Whatever thing. Y'all know what I mean. Put the wireless buds in your ear, right? So you can listen to that when you're exercising or when you're cleaning up or whatever it may be, and you can get that same message. It's just in the audio form. So, we can do that. And that's number 4. So get inspired. And then number 5, let me see why we're number 5. Surround yourself with people you admire. Surround yourself with people you admire, right? When I'm around, my partners, when I'm around, Lord Dr. Sam Orman, when I'm around Mr. Jeffrey Landrum, or when I'm around the buzz still buzzing, y'all. But when I'm around the buzz, and I'm not gonna go through names because I start naming names, I forget somebody, it's gonna be all kind of phone calls. But when I'm around people that I admire, that inspire me, right, it still helps me grow. It still helps me take my everything to another level. So when you're talking about surround yourself with people you admire, really do that. Sometimes they tell stories. Sometimes they do things. Sometimes they just be silent and allow you to vent. But sometimes when they start talking about those stories, and they start talking about things that they can do and how they can move and how they can grow and how they can inspire and how they can do this and how they can do that, those things are the things that we can literally push forward on and make some powerful, powerful things happen. Sometimes you just sit in the air, right, of greatness, and all kind of things happen. Let me tell you guys a story. I'm not gonna call names, but let me just tell you guys a story. I was invited to go to a particular dinner. It was very exclusive, and I'm not trying to blow me up, but I want to make a point here. And we were there, and I had no idea at the time. Now, this was before I even started doing anything. I was still a police officer, if I'm not mistaken. But y'all know the police officer salary. We ain't had much. We wasn't there. So we got to, it was invited to this very special dinner. And went, it was special. You had to get dressed up and everything. Get your Sunday's best and your Saturday's best all combined. So we went to this dinner, and I'm there, and I'm like, number one, let me shout everybody out. Let me see if y'all for real. When you running through some financial challenges, right? First thing you start thinking about, well, number one, where is it? Or is that such and such place? Is the parking free? Do I have to park on the street after hours? Hey, let's keep it real, all right? The parking free. Do I have to park across the street instead of paying the $40 of parking at this establishment? Can I park across the street at the library for $4? Right? Hey, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100, y'all. So that's the first thing. Then you're like, all right, you work out the actual parking in your mind. Now that you worked out the parking, then the next thing is, whew, I wonder if they're paying for dinner. They invited us, but I wonder if they're paying for dinner. Is this a la carte? Is this a buffet? It don't say on the ticket, so I don't know which one it is. But okay. So then you make phone calls and see, and then they find out that, oh, you may be free, but we're not sure. So now you're holding your breath when you walk into the establishment. Now you're looking like $1 million, right? But you kind of nervous. So walk into the establishment, you see people drinking. You know, some people like some alcoholic beverages, or as they say, adult beverages. Some people like spirits. So whatever it is that you like, you walk in. Now you're trying to figure out, hmm, is this an open bar or is this a closed bar? Do I have to pay for the drinks or not? So most of the time you go in there and you work that out. Oh, good. I just get the wine and the a specialty drink is free. Well, guess what we drinking that night, guys? That's right. Y'all, you see, that's for my people. I know we came up from the same people, right? So you do that. You're trying to make it all fit. I'm saying this for a point, and now you're nervous. But what happens is your faith was like, you have to go. You knew something deep down, you have to go, but you didn't have the monies. If somebody was to say, pay for this dinner or this meal, you know good and well your checking account got $36.89 in it, and you trying to figure out how am I, the beef itself is $175 on the menu. So I don't know what this is. We might get a discount and only be $95, right? So now you're in your head like, ooh, will I be just one of those times and just eat a lot of bread? Telling now I'm good. I'm just gonna have a little piece of bread and drink some of the free spirits that they just mix for you. You don't even know what it is, but we're trying to do something, right? Okay, so you get there. Now you figure out that the valet is free. The actual drinks, some of the drinks are free. You find out that the bread is free. You find out that the water is free. You find out then later on, oh, this is all covered. This is all part. So what do? You take that, whew. So now you feel good. Now, here is that faith. Something deep inside of you said you have to go though. Something deep inside of you said you have to make some things happen. Something deep inside of you saying, you know what? I'm going to make this faith journey happen for me. And when it happens, it's going to happen in a magnificent way. So because you had faith and it was blessed, right? I'm giving a simple story. Now you wind up having a really quality dinner, great drinks. You park your car and it's safe, it's for free. And then also you had the opportunity to network with some people or whatever it may have been. That literally happened to me. That literally happened to me. I'm pretty certain I was still on the police department. It happened to me. I didn't have the money to go to this big dinner with this I'll say politician. Or they say they don't like to call themselves politicians anymore. I don't know whatever the new name is now. That, but go to this big old dinner and you got the deputy director of this and Senator so and Representative so and this one works on this, and you got these CEOs who trying to hobnob and smooth and woos with the policymakers, and all of that stuff going on. For them it's old hat. For somebody like me, it was brand new, but it was like, I sure like the way y'all roll, right? I like this. You got all of the lobbyists out there and you doing your thing, not knowing who you're going to meet. But your faith was like, you have to go to this. You have to go to this. And it wound up being a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Why am I sharing that? Because in number 5, it says, surround yourself with people you admire. A lot of those people that were in that room, I absolutely admire. They're going and doing some amazing things. But if I would have succumbed to some of the negative thoughts, and how am I going to pull it off? I may not have even met some of the people that now I call friend, right? So you have to remember, in keeping your faith, sometimes your faith is being tested. Sometimes you have to release yourself from the outcome. Matter of fact, always release yourself from the outcome, because in your faith, if you have a communication and a direct relationship with your creator, and he's saying he's going to do something, release your faith. Listen, family, I am not the best example of that. I am not. There are a lot of times where my faith is being tested and I'm still trying to figure out the results. I am. I know you guys are not. I'm just saying, Stanley. A lot of times that happens to me. Something will happen and God say, listen, I'm gonna take care of this. And you give God a good hot 2 days, and he's like, all right, God, you said you was gonna take care of this, but I don't see them. I don't see it. Hey, you waving your hands, hey, you doing all of those things. Listen, release yourself from the outcome and just let God do God. Let God be God. I always say God is a perfect gentleman. If you step into doing what he does, he's going to allow you to do it because he's a perfect gentleman. If you do your job and let him do his job, there's some magical things that's going to happen. But a lot of times, I'm just saying, Stanley, because I know y'all are perfect. I'm just saying, Stanley. Sometimes I'm like, can you please hurry up? Hey, let's keep it 100. Can you please hurry up? Some people looking at, look, I have eviction notice on my door. Some people may be saying it don't look good at the hospital or anything in between. But let God be God. Let him be God. I could give y'all a countless amount of stories that he has came through for me. And I don't want to say in the nick of time, right on time. Everyone say, oh, he's right on time. He's an on-time God. All of that. But when your faith is being tested, sometimes you don't want to hear that. You like, I need to see some physical sights to see that this is being worked out. I need to physically see that my balance is zero. I need to physically see that my loved one is starting to sit up in the hospital bed. I need to physically see that the results came back and I'm negative. I need to physically see that when they cut me open and I had cancer, then all of a sudden it came back a few days later and like, you have nothing. That is not cancer. That just was something. Listen, sometimes even in the faith, we're just struggling, but sometimes you need that. You need that reassurance. So when you're praying, you're meditating, you're being genuine, you're releasing it, you're being around people that you look up to, that inspire you, all of those things. Sometimes even in the midst of all of that, sometimes you just need a hug. You just need somebody to say, Stanley, it's going to be okay. Sometimes you just need to say, Janice, it's going to be okay. Sometimes you need to say, Felicia, it's going to be all right. Sometimes you need to say, somebody's going to say, Doug, it's going to be okay. Regardless of who it is, sometimes you just need to say, it's going to be okay. Even though you may not see it, it's going to be okay. Let me leave you guys with this and just say this. It's going to be okay. Family, just say it to yourself. It's going to be okay. I know it's difficult. It's going to be okay. I know it hurts. It's going to be okay. I know you're in pain. It's going to be okay. I know you don't see the road. It's going to be okay. I know you're confused. It's going to be okay. I know your money is funny and your change is strange. It's going to be okay. I know you're looking at the bank accounts and trying to figure out how to pay the electricity bill or the gas bill or the water bill. It's going to be okay. I know mortgages due yesterday. It's going to be okay. Regardless of where you are, it's going to be okay. Keep your faith. Keep your faith. Keep your faith with your creator and allow him to handle the details of all of those other things. Don't try to figure it out. Just allow him to keep your details. Let me share this with you guys, and then we're going to ride on out of here. Say this with me. I wrote some stuff down, y'all, so don't laugh at me, but I just wrote some things down, right? I'm better than Wait, let me say that again. I'm better than this moment. Let me say that again. I am better than this moment. When you're going through those difficult times, just say it. I'm better than this moment. I am better than this moment. It will pass. I am better than this moment. I am elevated beyond this moment. I'm more powerful than this moment. I am greater than this moment. I am more superior in this moment, right? Let's begin to speak life to ourselves as well. Keep your faith. But remember, you're better than that. I know your faith is being challenged. I know you're being tested. I know it's hard, but you're better than that. You're better than that moment. I love myself in every way. I love myself in both the good and the bad. I love myself. How many times have we say we love ourselves, but then something to distract us, something to get us off, something to beat us up, something to say something and just be like, you know what, y'all? Nah, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't this. I don't that. I don't believe in this. Keep your faith. Keep your faith. If you are a child of God, keep your faith. It's not easy sometimes. Keep your faith. When hell comes to your door, keep your faith. Say, I love myself. I love me. I love who I am. I love what God created. I love me. What a lot of times people, these negative people will try to do is say what you didn't do. Oh, you didn't graduate. Oh, you didn't complete. Oh, you didn't this. Oh, you didn't do that. Or whatever. Always trying to pluck the negativity out of you, but never greet you in grace. Never greet you and say congratulations. Right? Or if they say congratulations, is congratulations, but I would have did it faster than you. It's not you. It's not you. So remember to love yourself. Always remember to love yourself, whether it's in the good or in the bad. Just love yourself. Talk to your creator. Pray, meditate, release, be generous to others, get inspired, and surround yourself with people you actually admire. Whew, that was good. I needed that my own self, right? So remember, family, we getting out of here, but when we go through these faith tests, just pass them so we don't have to stay on the faith test. All right. Guys, I love y'all. Family, I love y'all. I pray this helps because the messages I've been getting from some people for 2024, they're like, can I just go to 2023 again? No, keep pushing forward. Love yourself, know who you are, and understand that allow your faith to grow because faith is love. All right. So I love you guys. Thank you guys. Don't forget to go to all of our social media channels. And especially go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share, forward it, call your cousin and your uncles and everybody that's the loudmouth of the family that's always on social media. Have them share the Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette podcast. And listen, we'll be back next week. I'm absolutely thrilled that we are back on the air for season 4. To wherever you are around the world, blessings to you. Thank you so very much. Welcome to 2024. We are in the driver's seat and we are driving with the family. I love y'all. Thanks, peace, and blessings. And I will see you guys on the beaches of the world. God bless. And y'all have an incredible, incredible day, morning, evening, night, wherever you logging in. Have a great evening. Good night.